Hey guys, what's up? I hope everyone is doing all right. Today we're going to be doing some more exciting stuff, depending on what you find exciting. We're going to be working with Lua Scripting in the game. I'm going to make a few notes before we do start because there has been some changes to like where the code is and everything. So I feel like it's useful to know that stuff. But I'll wait a little bit, let some more people trickle in before I start going over that. Yep. Voxel Rifts and Tree, how's it going? It's good to see you guys. And Garlfin, this is not Valorant. No, I'm sorry. Oh, I don't have any music playing too. Here, let me do that real quick while we are waiting as well. So we'll go to here and let's find the one that I always go to, Nintendo Music for Stream. Because this one's a classic. You can't get much better than this. All right, let me turn that down a little bit. And we should be good. All right, cool. We got some good music. And if that's reverberating or anything, let me know and I will stop it. So let's see. Garlfin, is this Opera GX? Not GX, it's just regular old Opera, yep. I tried GX for a little bit and it just kind of kept crashing. And I think it's because of the RAM limiter. So I was like, I'll wait a little bit longer till it gets a bit more stable and then I'll switch back to it. So yeah. Langors, how's it going? I'm doing all right. I hope you're doing all right as well. Okay, so Lua Scripting. I think I should start with showing you guys sort of what I've got. And I will also talk about the changes that I made too in just a minute here. And it's good to see you. Yeah, you did make it to the stream today. Also, a quick side note, I did get up way earlier today than I usually do because it's supposed to be a winter storm tomorrow and I wanted to go grocery shopping before everyone goes crazy looking for bread and eggs. So yeah, and going to the grocery store at 6:30 in the morning, turns out there's no one there, which is nice. So I got everything I needed, got out, and it was just good. Nothing to worry about, so that was nice. Okay, let's go ahead. I'm gonna actually close this guy out so that we can see this a little bit better and stuff. But yeah, Garlfin, becoming a Minecraft Roblox crossover, Lua Scripting. I guess Lua is just like a really good language to embed, and I might actually look into Roblox's. I'm actually gonna turn down this music just a little bit. I might actually look into Roblox's Lua Bindings because they've done some stuff. Like if we look up Roblox Lua, GitHub, they've open sourced their fork of Lua. Yeah, this one. It's like Luau. I don't know how you pronounce that, but I think AKDev inside the Discord, he posted this, and basically it's just like a more performant Lua. So I may look into trying to use this instead at some point. But yeah, I'm not sure though, because it might not work with this library, which is what we're gonna be talking about today. So yeah. Okay, so the code has changed. That's not what I meant to do. The code has changed. Windows with their stupid buttons. I'm gonna go to github.com/AmbrosioGabe. Not to Coco though. That was an old project that I may pick up again in the future. So if we go to repositories, you will notice that if we scroll down somewhere, is it up here? It's somewhere in here. I've got too many things in here. I've got to purge some of these, get rid of them. It should be in here. Oh, it's because I'm signed into the wrong account. Here we go. So let's sign out of this, and then we will sign into my other GitHub account, which is the one I had before YouTube. So let's pop that open real quick. Nope, let me open 1Password. I think I got it saved in there. Also, this is not an ad for 1Password, but it's nice. Nope, I don't even have it, so I can't even show you guys the wonders of 1Password. Yep, not gonna work. Too bad. Let's see. Okay, there we go. I just forgot my password. Cool. So if we go, like I was saying, to repositories, let's click onto, should be here. Yeah, your repositories. We shall see. There we go, voxel game, and it's private. So the reason I'm making it private and I'm switching the repositories is because this is the point where I'm saying, okay, I'm gonna switch it to closed source. But of course, you guys are still gonna see the code and stuff on stream. It's just not gonna be open for like anyone to go and fork or whatever. I'm gonna remove this GNU public license. Also, let's go to, I'll do that afterwards. The one in coding Minecraft is not MIT license, and I need to switch that. So I will be switching that for anyone who is interested. It is GPL right now, but I'll switch that up to MIT because that's more permissive and stuff. So I know some of you guys are interested in that, and I will be switching that. But yeah, so this is closed source now. It's all the same stuff. I've added some more stuff though, clearly. I'm working on a new branch, which is upgrading the UI renderer. So that is sort of what I've been working on as of now. It's still got the same history and everything because of the way I sort of switched branches and everything. But yeah, is there still a copy of the code available? Yes, at the other repository, there is. Like, so if you go to Coding Minecraft, which is my YouTube GitHub, then you can still find like the code up to the point to where I switched over to here. So yeah, I'm going to leave that open source and everything, but we are switching to closed source for now. And I'll probably eventually have like a Patreon thing where you can, you know, go and browse the code or whatever, browse the code or whatever if you want and all that good stuff. So yeah. Also too, thank you, Langors. I'll be making a website at some point too, so that you can still like download releases and everything without, you know, weird stuff. So that will all be in the works eventually. But anyways, with that out of the way, Lua Scripting. So I've been working on embedding this thing called Rml UI, which Sam, who is also in the Discord server, pointed out to me. Rml UI is this library that is super amazing that allows you to put HTML and CSS inside of your C++ code. So basically you can make your UI in that, and then it basically gives you a list of vertices and stuff, and you can basically just take those vertices and render them through your own shaders, whatnot, and you just sort of do it. It just works. I'll show you kind of the render interface, which is the biggest part. And then there's a few other things, and it's really cool. So we're going to be exploring this a little bit more today, which is really nice. But yeah, Essie Woods, how's it going? It's good to see you. And dude, now I got to learn C++ to keep the project alive. Yeah, well, project's still alive. I'm just forking it. So there will still be releases and everything, and I'll probably still have them free for a long time until it gets like to a stable state. But yeah. Okay, so how do you implement this HTML stuff? Well, the hardest part for me was just getting the stupid library to compile. You know, the joys of C++, super annoying. But once you finally get it compiled after like 4 hours of work, you know, and you get it linked up correctly, well then it's really easy. You just basically implement this render interface, and there's a few different functions. And so what I do at the beginning of this is first I create like a VAO and a VBO and EBO, two of those, one for textured stuff, one for colored stuff. Technically, I probably don't need to separate these into two separate VAOs and VBOs and EBOs, but that's what I'm doing for now until I change it up and everything. And then we'll talk about this more in a second too. And do you mean keeping the open source version? Yeah. Essie Wood, scripting, is that for others to create mods, or do you need it yourself? I need it myself for this HTML stuff, but I do plan on adding it so that there's gonna be like modding support and everything too. So this is sort of the start of all of that, because I'm gonna have to start building like bindings and stuff so that you can call the code, the Minecraft code from Lua and vice versa and stuff. So yeah. And I know some of you are interested in like how much I know about this stuff before we start. So in terms of scripting, I've done a little bit before, but I tried using like C# with I want to say Roslyn, but that's not what it was. I was using the other one, Mono something, but basically it was like a C# sort of interop with C++. And so I've done a little bit with that. So I kind of understand the gist of like how you communicate between languages with like C++ and another language. I have a feeling it's gonna be vastly different for like Lua, because they specifically designed Lua to be interacted with by C++. So that's one nice thing. Yep. When we destroy a render interface, we just free all that stuff. And then for render geometry, so this is the cool part. Like basically, Rml UI basically makes you implement this interface, and then you get this thing, which is just these vertices, and we can take a look at the vertex. It is simply just a vector2, a color, and a vector2, and the color is just a uint. So basically, we just make a render that is able to take that stuff and then go ahead, upload the uniforms and stuff, and then render it. So we just do a GL draw elements. They also send us the indices, so we are able to, or elements, whatever you want to call them. You're able to do all that stuff as well. And then they have a few other things. This compile geometry is so that you can like compile the geometry to like a better form for your engine if you wanted to. I'm not using it right now, so it just doesn't do anything. And then some more stuff with that. You have scissor region stuff. And I just stole their code because I haven't really worked with like stencils and everything that much. So I stole their code and then I basically modified it a little bit to use shaders because they were using like deprecated OpenGL. So change that up. You got load texture, just loads of texture. So they give you the path, they give you the dimensions, or actually these are out. So they say, give me the texture handle, which is just like the texture's ID and the dimensions. And then they give us the source. We can use whatever our engine does. And then they also have generate texture, same deal, and release texture. So it's all pretty straightforward stuff. And once you get it up and running, you can go ahead and we'll do this. I added some extra functionality so that it detects changes to the HTML and stuff, and we can hot reload things. So now we can go and you'll see I've got a simple HTML. It's technically RML because there are some differences. It's not like actual HTML and stuff, but it's pretty similar. And so you can see what I've got here is I've got this div menu title, and then I've got a CSS file too, or technically RCSS, because you can see it's not true CSS, but it's close enough. And then say like with the menu title, which is this guy right here, and I don't have my cursor highlighter on. Let's fix that. The menu title, which is this guy right here, like I can literally make changes and see them real time. So say I wanted to say background color is red. Do that. I saved it. Background color is now red. So, and yeah, jank menu, I know. We're gonna be changing stuff eventually, but for now, this is the way it is. But yeah, so like you get instant feedback. You can go ahead, tweak stuff. If you wanna change the height or whatever, 26% instead, you can do that. Looks weird. It's cool, right? So this is really useful for UI stuff. I'm finally gonna be able to add like an actual settings menu and everything, and we can just use that. Let me catch up on chat real quick. So I tried Voxriffs. You tried using C++ with C++, so I'm pretty sure you know a lot. Yeah, C++ with C++ was not fun. But yep. And I hope this isn't like mobile app development where your code becomes obsolete after every update of Android. Shaking my head. No, I'm gonna try and keep the code pretty stable from release to release. And AK Dev, your favorite stream yet, because I'm embedding Lua. Hey, yeah. We'll talk about that too in a minute, because this is just super cool, this whole library. It's very awesome. Yep. SE Woods, remember briefly learning HTML? Yep. Hashtag forgotten. Kind of sad that's not open source though. All the cool stuff is proprietary. I think RML is open source. Or are you talking about like my actual library? Yeah, this is MIT. Yep. The reason I'm switching this to closed source too, my game, is just because like this is the point where I'm going to start changing it from like Minecraft clone to actual my game. And you know, if I want to make a game, like I actually want to make it so that it's not something that people can just go and copy and then use or whatever. You know, so that's sort of why I release the base as open source, because I think that's cool. People can go from there and do whatever they want. But for my game, I do want to keep it closed source. So anyway, so we've got all this stuff. You can basically do a lot of cool stuff. You can do transitions in the CSS and everything as well. Let's see how well I know CSS. So if we say like on the button, on hover, we want to like make it get bigger. We could say transition, size, width. I think this is how you do it. Or we'll do it like, yeah, I don't know. Wait, let's look this up real quick, because I'm not solid on my CSS transition stuff. CSS transition. Let's check it out real quick. Okay, so we basically do property, duration, timing, delay. So we can do stuff like hover. Okay, so you basically assign the transition properties here. Okay, cool. So then we can say, okay, cool. And I think you can do it all, yeah, inline like this. So we can say like width, 2 seconds, height, 2 seconds, background color, 2 seconds, transform, and then we change. Okay, cool. So what we can do is we could say something like transition, width. We'll do what they said. 2 seconds, height, 2 seconds, right? And we'll add a like function that changes that and stuff. And then what we'll do here is we'll say width is, oh, I guess it's 100%, so it doesn't matter too much. But then we'll say height is, do we have a height in here? Don't know. I don't think we do. How is this getting a height? 30%? I don't know. Okay, we'll say like height is 500 pixels. So it'll basically just do something. And then if we hover, okay, there we go. It definitely transitioned. So you can see after 2 seconds, it transitions to that, which it's not looking the way I was hoping it would look. But yeah, that's the basic gist of it, though. You can do much better transitions than I can because I'm not good at that stuff, and make it look a lot cooler and everything, and just sort of do whatever you would do in CSS, which is awesome. So yeah. AK Dev, by the way, why are you adding Lua Scripting in a game? I've only seen scripting in game engines only. Is that true? I think you know of one game where there's scripting that doesn't have a game engine. But, no, Minecraft is what I'm talking about there, too. Games have scripting, too. So, like, Gary's Mod, Minecraft, yep. You can add scripting to all those. They just call them mods, but it's the same deal. So, I guess scripting, mods, whatever you want to call it, it's all sort of the same thing. Yeah. So, how do we do Lua in this stuff, though? So let's actually go into here now. So you can see that I've got sort of like the ID. I was messing around with some stuff, wasn't sure how I was going to do this and everything, but we'll get this so that it's a little bit easier to read. Move that over there. So this is the play game button. And now let's say I wanted to do some Lua stuff. So when you click it, I want it to say you pressed play game. So if we move this over here, I click it. You can see right here, you pressed play game. So then I can change this to something else because I am not creative. And then we'll hit it. Something else. Okay, so you can do really cool stuff. We can even do something like, say we wanted a script tag embedded. We could add Lua Code here. So my Lua is not strong, I will admit. Let's take a look at their example because they show a function and I always forget. Okay, yeah, so let's do like a little function like that. We'll say function print, and then we can say end. So I wonder if there's a way I can change the parsing too, or like the syntax highlighting, because it's not going to look right. It's going to try and highlight JavaScript because of the way I have this set up, but we'll see about that some other point. Okay, so then let's say I say, how do we do a loop in Lua? I always forget. Lua for loop. And this is Lua 5.3 too, by the way. Okay, so for I equals 10 to 1, we'll do I equals 1 to 10. And then you do a do end. Cool, that's exactly what I wanted to do. So we'll say for I equals 1 to 10, do print I. And I think Lua, you do a dot dot for the concatenation. So we'll do that, okay? Right? So when we click it, oh, and then we'll change this too. So we'll say on click, we want to print. So now if we click this, nope. Okay, so this is another good thing though. First of all, it tells us, this is cool. I didn't realize that. So it says string print, attempt to call a nil value, global print. That's cool. So first of all that, but also you'll see this little check mark showed up. And Lua, you need 3 dots to concatenate. Okay, cool. I may have to fix that. Yep. And there's a syntax highlighter for RML in the extensions marketplace for VS Code. Oh, cool. Thank you, Langors. I will check that out afterwards. This little check mark pops up, and we can look in here, and it says the same thing. String print, attempt to call a nil value, global print. So, you know, you get your debug stuff in the game too. And if I hit F8, I have a key binding that actually opens up all this stuff. You can hit outlines, which puts these very faint outlines. You may not be able to see it because of stream compression. You can also hit element info, and then if I like click on this, you can see it highlights where this is, the background and everything. We also get some information about like how this works, like where it is, the pixels, everything, its parents, its children. So it's really cool. Like this thing has just got a lot of neat stuff. But let's see if we can fix this bug real quick too. I think it might be because of the way RML uses scripts. So they say you basically add a script tag, we add a function, and then it should just work. At least that's what they say. They put it in the head. I don't know if that makes any difference. Let's move this and see if that does make a difference. So I'll do that real quick because I think this is just complaining about like not being able to find the function. So if we hit play game, there we go. Okay, yeah. So we need to put the scripts in the head tag. That's a good thing, I guess. So the code was fine, but you'll see now it printed out 1 to 10. So just really cool stuff, and really easy too. Now, what I want to start working on though is sort of a more formal GUI kind of setup so that we can add different RML files. Right now, I'm just manually compiling this file every time, but of course we're going to want different files for different things. And so I don't know how flexible I want it to be with that. I don't know if I just want to have like a main menu file, a settings file, blah, blah, blah. Just do that and then kind of have like fixed files that you can just go in and edit. And then like inventory file for inventory stuff, blah, 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 all that stuff. So kind of the discussions we're going to be going through today. Yeah, so it looked like the function was global too. Just had to put it in the head tag. Okay. So next thing, next order of business, how do we get this to call my code, the C++ code? Because that's sort of what I wanted to figure out next. And I think RML is probably gonna have some inbuilt stuff that we can use for that. The quit buttons are not gonna work. This is gonna crash because for some reason I can't close it by clicking the command prompt, but yeah. Garlfin got proprietary file format that contains menu data and binary. It's genius. Nice. Okay, so that's not what I meant to do. Let's go ahead and start reading through these docs. I know that's a fun stream, but I gotta see how we can call back into our C++ code. Okay, so these are like event handlers, all that stuff, right? Cool things. I'm guessing we can load scripts too through the script tag, which would be nice. Loading fonts, that's not what I care about. Let's go to Lua manual. Okay, so we got embedding script. Oh, I guess we can load fonts from Lua. The Lua plugin installs a global table Rml UI, which provides a way to support font files from Lua. This function takes a string parameter, the file name of the font to load. Oh, that's cool. And they've got a Lua API reference. That's not hopeful at all, but yeah. Okay, cool. I'm not sure how interop between Lua and this works too, so we may just play around with that a little bit today as well, just to kind of see, but I kind of want to see what they have. Okay, attaching to events statically in RML. Yep, so we can do stuff like that dynamically from Lua Code. Oh, cool. So this is another cool thing, right? This RML library, like you can literally do JavaScript-esque type inspection of the DOM, the document object model, at runtime like you can with JavaScript, which is really cool. Like we can say get the button by ID, and then we can add an event listener, and then we can do other stuff. This library is just amazing. So huge shout out to Sam for finding this. I'm sure there are other libraries that do similar stuff, but this one was it was fairly easy to get up and running. So yeah. Okay. So we got this. These are some stuff, interface, elements. Okay, I don't really care about elements right now. What I want to look at is how we can go back to the C++. Context. Okay, I think this is probably where we're going. Yeah, so basically RML has like a whole way where you can attach variables as like context information and stuff. So there's just a lot of stuff in here. And that did not help me at all. Okay. Let's see, because how do I call my C++ code from Lua? Let's look at Lua's bindings. Okay. How to call C++ code from Lua. Let's see if we can do this. Okay, first step is to define the function. All C or C++ functions that will be called from Lua will be called using a pointer of this type. Oh, sweet. Okay, so in other words, functions must have a Lua interpreter as the only argument and return only an integer. Okay, cool. So you can call C code in Lua using the C API. Yeah, I think that's what this guy's talking about as well. Let's check this out too, though. Application program interface, C closures, error handling, handling yields. Okay, cool. I may look at this too in a minute. Yeah, I may look at that in a minute. The problem I'm thinking is probably going to be just like going back and forth, because I'll have to set up the bindings myself, which is probably going to be the hard part, but hopefully not too hard though, because that's what this makes it look like. So, okay, in other words, function have a Lua interpreter. Okay, since a Lua interpreter is used for the argument, the function can actually take any number of arguments that are read from the stack, the integer returned. If you have existing C++ functions that you would like to call from Lua, wrappers can easily be created to meet this requirement. Cool. That's probably what I'll do. C++ average function given below will demonstrate. The Lua get op function returns the index of the top of the stack. Since the stack is numbered starting from 1 in Lua, that's also a weird thing about Lua. Sorry, side point. They start from 1, not 0. That hurts my brain, but it's okay. This is also the size of the stack and can be used as a number of arguments passed to the function. The for loop calculates the sum of all the arguments. Okay, the average. So he's just talking about the loop. So we basically call this thing in C++ or C, Lua register, and then we basically say this is the function name and this is the function itself. Save this file as luavg.cpp. If you're Lua average, I guess. If you'd like to use straight C instead of C++, just name Lua average.c and remove the extern C. Cool. Oh yeah, and this is another thing. If you include Lua, you have to do extern C wrapped around it because of the way Lua is written in C, not C++. So if you want it to link properly, you just gotta do that. Yep. Cool. So we'll use this and we'll just kind of play around and see if we can do the same thing. Let's go to main.cpp. So this is also a good thing. Whenever I'm experimenting with a new library, I really hate setting up a whole new C++ project if I'm going to be using the library anyways. So what I like to do is I'll just go into my main function file, whatever you want to call it. And then I'll usually just comment like this stuff out, which is, you know, I start the application, everything. Don't need to do that. And then I'll just say like test Lua Code. So we'll do that. And then I'll go ahead and say void test Lua Code. And now we have a playground where we can just sort of experiment with stuff, which is what we're going to be doing. So let's go back there. I'm going to copy this. And it should just work because of the way I have my include directories all set up already. So we basically do this. These files exist. If I say hash include Lua, you'll see that it just pops up. That's good. And looks like the first thing they do is they set up a Lua state, which is the interpreter. So that's pretty cool. And why is he using L for that? That is very stupid. I'm sorry, author of this tutorial, but use real names. Okay, anyways though. So this is the Lua interpreter. We can do the same thing very easily. We'll just declare it all in here since we're using this. So we'll say Lua state star Lua interpreter equals Lua Create, I think it was called. No, that's not right. It was called Lua Open. See, and this is what, man, this is nice. If you've ever tried to embed a different language in C++, they are not this easy. And it is so annoying just to try and get that. AKDev, that's how everyone using the Lua C API do that. Yeah, it's stupid. Use real variable names. That was Mario. Real variable names are much nicer. And I missed, why are they doing this too? Lua _ S state. I have never seen that syntax, but I'll forgive it. This is okay. That works. And this is a capital O. No, it's not. Okay, what did I do wrong? Did I forget to include something? Lua _ open initialize. Yeah, and then they're not consistent too. That's not cool. Okay, you can't do that. Whatever though. Why do we not have Lua open? Lua open. Nope, we don't have that. Am I missing something? That's terrible naming in my opinion. I agree. Be consistent at least. Maybe it's because they're in C. Okay, I can kind of see it. I'll give them, yeah. Good old _ camel case, exactly. Yeah, that's what I was going to say, because Lua is the namespace and capital denotes a type, whereas smaller letter denotes a function, yeah. So they are using some stuff. This is the namespace type. So it'd be the same thing if we did in C++. Namespace Lua struct state. So yeah, I still wouldn't do that, but whatever. I can see where they're coming from, right? It's pretty consistent. Yeah. Okay, so why do I not have this Lua open? We've got include Lua xlib, all that stuff. And then I just don't have this. Let's see, Lua 5.3. Lua 5.3 C++ open. Because it might be a different function for this one. And it looks like I'm back to the same place that you took me to, AKDev. So let's go back to here. Open. Do they have it? Lua insert. That's not what I want. Open parentheses, nope. Opening long, nope. Let's see, can we do a, nope, no parentheses. Let's see if we can find it somewhere in here, maybe. This looks like just regular Lua functionality stuff. I think they have all the documentation in the same place, which is kind of annoying, but that's fine. New state, maybe? Open libs. Opens all standard Lua libraries into the given state. Creates a new Lua state. Okay, this is what we're looking for. Lua state equals new Lua state. Yeah, so it looks like this guy's just using a different version than us. So we can say Lua new state. And what's this expect? Lua alloc f and void. Oh, cool. So we give them an allocation function too. Lua, oh, that's really cool, because then I can use like my memory tracker and everything. So Lua alloc looks like this. We've got void, and it takes in a void star, UD, pointer, size, and size. What is UD? Let's see. Okay, so Lua alloc. Let's check this out. Okay. Cool. So we've got the type of memory. Here's a simple implementation. Okay, UD pointer, O size, N size. UD, O size not used. If N size equals 0, free pointer, return null, return realloc. This code assumes that free null and has no effect on that realloc null size is equivalent to malloc size. ANSI ensures both behaviors. That is true. Okay. There's a macro that doesn't need an allocator. I want to use their allocator though, because I do like that. That's really cool. Oh, I guess this is like the output or something. I don't know. That's weird. But yeah, because then I can use like my memory tracker and stuff. I wish they would just give like normal variable names so that I could just be like, oh yeah, that's what this is. Oh, let's do Lua alloc. Do they say, oh, and it's the same stuff right here. Okay. Type of memory allocator function. The allocator function must provide a functionality similar to realloc, but not the exact same. When pointer is not null, O size is the size of the block pointed by pointer. When pointer is null, O size encodes the kind of object Lua is allocating. O size is any string. Lua assumes the following behavior. When N size is 0, the allocator must behave like free and return null. When N size is not 0, the allocator must behave like realloc. Okay, cool. So I can actually use my library then here. So let's do this. We'll say void star Lua realloc. I don't know. I'm going to use my naming convention realloc. And so we do void star. Does realloc take 2 pointers? Realloc. That would make sense. And if they're copying this, then okay, no, yeah, it just says pointer new size. So I don't get why they give us 2 pointers. That's kind of weird, but whatever. Yeah, and then they just say not used. Like, why are you not using it? What's the point then? Whatever. Okay, so they say if N size equals 0, they free it and return null. Otherwise, they return realloc. And I'm gonna do this a little bit differently because of what I got to do. So then we'll do that, size t, N size t, O size. Maybe they use those two for like internal stuff. I don't know. Okay, that's right. Oh, O size is first, then N size. Let's fix that. So O size, then N size. Cool. And we'll use that. And then I'm just going to copy this, and then we will change it up a little bit. So we'll do that. Okay, so if N size equals 0, we want to free it. So I'm going to call my function gmemory free. This should be good because then we can like track memory leaks and stuff. Else, let's see, we'll do that. Otherwise, we're doing that. So then we can say otherwise realloc pointer. We'll say if pointer does not equal null pointer, then we will do my realloc, which is gmemory realloc. Otherwise, we will say return gmemory alloc. Nope, I think it's called gmemory allocate. Okay, and then we just want to allocate end size. I guess this returns null. Oh, they just returned that, but yeah, okay. We should fall through to this no matter what, but yep, it doesn't matter. So technically this is unnecessary, but I'll leave it there because he might yell at me. Yeah. For reference, the macro is Lua capital L new state. Okay, cool. O size is old size, N size is new size. Thank you. That makes a lot more sense. Yeah. And then no clue what UD is. Yeah. I have no clue too. Okay. But yeah, so that's what that old size and new size, that makes a lot more sense. So this should call all my functions and we should be good. And then if I do something like, if I don't free this stuff, then we should see it like a bunch of memory leaks pop up, which will be nice. So I'll do that. Oh, and then they take in a void star UD. What's that UD? That was Lua new state. Okay, Lua new state creates a new Lua state. It calls Lua new state with an allocator based on the standard C realloc function and sets a panic function. Okay, so it's a panic function that prints an error message to the standard error output in case of fatal errors. Let's click this. Void star UD. Why do they call it UD? Panic UD. Panic UD. I don't know. User data. Ah, that makes sense. Thank you. Yeah, user data. There we go. Creates a new thread running a new independent state. Oh, cool. It's even on its own thread. Returns null if it cannot create the thread or state due to lack of memory. The argument F is the allocator function. Lua does all memory allocation. Okay, second argument UD is an opaque pointer that Lua passes to the allocator every call. Yes, but what is that pointer's... what is its thing? The panic? I don't know. Okay. Let's do this. Lua panic function. Okay, cool. Here we go. Okay, Lua AT panic. Lua C function. Panic F. Sets a new panic function and returns the old one. So it's called Lua AT panic. Let's Lua AT panic. There we go. Okay, cool. So we can get the definition for this. I don't know if I'm supposed to be calling this too. Like, I don't even know if this is legal, but I'm doing it. So whatever. Lua C function. So it takes in a state and a C function. What is Lua C function? C function. Let's get rid of that so I get my syntax highlighting. That is just a function that takes in Lua state. Okay. So let's just do this. We will say void Lua panic, and this will just take in a Lua state, star state, and this will just print out panic for now. So let's say glogger error panic. Seems good to me. And then let's see if it works, if we can just pass that, which was panic. And that seems to work because it's just a void pointer. We'll see what happens. Okay, but this should let me use my memory allocator, which will be nice because then we can see if I don't free stuff, we should get a bunch of memory allocation errors. Not sure what this is going to do in general since we're just doing this. Let's continue with that tutorial we were following. And then hopefully we'll see some stuff happen. Okay, so we do that. Then we have to load the Lua base libraries, which makes sense. So like, I guess that's their standard library and stuff. I don't get why they wouldn't do that in the function, but it's fine. Lua L open libs. Lua L open libs. Okay. Open libs. And I think that's an underscore O. Did I spell that wrong? Let's see. Lua L open libs. That's all lowercase. There we go. Okay, cool. And then we pass it our Lua Interpreter. Okay. Also, panic callback possibly. Yep, probably. You can probably pass null pointer and it will work just fine. That's also true too. It'll probably just crash anyways. I'm assuming if panic is happening, it's not good. And collector stuff. A new thread in this context just means it has its own thread context, right? Not an actual thread. I am not sure about that. I would assume a new thread in this context means like a... I don't know too much about multi-threading, so you could be right on that too. I'm not sure. AKDev, for testing purposes, you can use Lua L new state instead of Lua new state, which doesn't require an allocator. Yeah, I know, but I kind of want to see if this works because I want to use my own thing. This should track our memory for us and like track memory out of bounds errors and stuff, which will be nice because I don't know if Lua would ever fail, but it'll be nice to see if it does. So yeah. Okay. Then we register our function. So this is how we add our bindings, which is cool. So I can basically create some documentation that does all this stuff. So we will say void average, and this will just take in a Lua state, star Lua state, and work IntelliSense or whatever you are. Okay, so then what's it saying? Identifier L. Oh, it's just visual. Oh wait, no. The Lua Interpreter. That's better. Now what's it saying? Argument of type of void star Lua state star is incompatible with parameter of type Lua C function. Do they do something different? Nope. Static int average. Oh, it's supposed to return an int. That's good to know because that means I will have to do the same thing here. So let's just do that. And then int. This will return -1. Return 0 for now. Okay, cool. So we do that. Run the script. Cool. Does he have like an actual... Oh, yeah, because of course we're going to be running Lua Code. Lua do file. I like that function name. So let's do that. We'll do file average, and I'm actually just going to stick this in assets for now, just so that it's easy for me to get rid of afterwards. So let's say assets/Lua, I guess scripts average.lua. Lua do file, and we need to change that again. Do the file. Yeah, exactly, right? Let me take some coffee real quick. I gotta try and finish this coffee before it gets cold. Every time I'm on stream, it gets way too cold, and then by the end of the stream, it's just gross. Unless you like cold coffee. Some people do. So, okay. And then they do this. Cool. We don't have to, we do have to worry about this, though. We'll close it. Let's do Lua Interpreter. All that stuff. Let's go ahead. We will add a file in here. So I put that in assets, just in the base. Or actually, I create a new folder, scripts. And then we'll add in a new file, average.lua. Cool. We can write it in there. And let's just make sure, fix that. And then let's go ahead and look at their thing. So this is how it should work, I guess. Copy that, paste it, Lua state. I guess we should call it Lua Interpreter to be consistent with what I called it before, but yeah, doesn't matter. Cool, so basically, I guess this is a stack-based language, and so what they do is they get the first operator on the stack, which is gonna be like the first parameter, I guess, and they just automatically interpret it as whatever. So this is kind of dangerous, but hopefully they have some like error checking that I can do so that I don't just blindly say, yeah, this is an integer. Loop through each argument. Okay, so n is... Okay, oh no, and then Lua to number. Okay, cool, I'm assuming this does error checking. So then this loops through the total number of arguments, push the average. Okay, I gotta see what they do for their Lua code because I'm not sure what they're doing here. Good article about the C API in case you need. Oh, cool. Thank you, AKDev. Ah, thank you. I appreciate it. So this will be good because I'm going to be doing a lot more with this stuff and everything. But yeah. And also, SE Woods, you should have a heater that the coffee mug stands on. That's true. Be good. One of my ex-girlfriends, her grandpa, used to stick his coffee in the microwave because he would just let it get cold and then he would just stick it in there to heat it up. And I was always like, I don't think I could do that. Just like microwaved coffee. But yeah, whatever you want, you know? So, saw once that they had it in Curb Your Enthusiasm. Don't know if it's a real thing though. Oh no, collector of stuff, you do that too. It's okay. I won't judge. I just don't think, I don't know, it's just weird for me, like coffee in microwave. But then again, I'll use like, what's this, the thing's called, you know, the Keurig or whatever, that, you know, you just stick a coffee thing. Those things kind of gross me out too because it's not real coffee in my opinion. No, it's real coffee. It's just watery and I don't like that, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so what's their average? Okay, so this is the simple Lua script. Cool. So we can go put that inside of here. So, okay, the way this works then is it basically just does this. Okay, cool. So this is good. So Lua get op, the first argument on the stack is gonna be the number of arguments, I guess. And then we loop through each argument and we basically say, we can use different functions. I'm assuming they have like Lua to, okay, so we can use to Boolean, to C function, to integer X, to L string. Cool. So we can basically do all this different stuff to user data, which I'm assuming just cast it to whatever we want. Yeah, it gives us a void star. Awesome. So we can use those functions to get those parameters and then do stuff. Get top. Oh, not get op. That makes more sense. Get top. Yes. They need to do this so I can read this stuff. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. And back to Mario. Okay, so then what we do in here is we're passing in and we're getting returned the average and the sum. So we're probably pushing two variables to the stack. So we push a number, yep. We say push a number, Lua state sum over n, which is the average. Then we push another number, which is the sum. And that's what we get here, average and sum. And then we print those out. Cool. Not sure what print does or if we can like reroute that to our own logger information. But yeah, this was some kind of device they screwed to the bottom of the mug that kept the coffee warm. Kind of neat idea. Oh, enough about coffee heaters now. Yeah, I'll look into it. I'll go Amazon it and then get some heated coffee. So now we can do the fun part, which is checking to make sure this all works right. So if I just run this, we can hit the breakpoints and kind of walk through it. Nope, build errors. Ah, lots of unresolved external symbols. That's fun. Okay, I think I know what this is too. I'm just not copying. No, do I know what this is? I think I do. Okay, so it looks like, let me check my pre-make file because I might have forgotten to link this properly. So basically, yeah, okay, so I'm not linking it anywhere. Okay, so this makes sense. So we just need to link the file and we should be good, believe. Let's go, where is it? I have like Windows links. Okay, cool. We'll go here and then we'll say Lua 53.lib is what we're gonna link. And then we need to copy that as well, which it looks like I'm doing already. Cool. So I'm copying it from where we get it to our output binary, which is good. So we should be good there. Cool. So I just needed to link it in there. And then if we go back here and we just say build VS22. Okay, cool. That should work. Also, if any of you guys use Premake and want to see how to link CMake projects, let me know because it's kind of tricky and it's always really annoying. So I can go over that real quick if you are interested. Okay, cannot open file lua53.lib. So am I copying it weird or something? Let's check our bin directory. So, okay, I do have it here. I have lua53.dll and lua53.lib. I think I have to do something weird. Yeah. So basically, I don't know why this is, but I also have to specify the directory that it's in, even though it doesn't really do anything. I don't know if this is just a quirk of Visual Studio, but I just have to do this. So then what I have to do is I have to go Minecraft vendor, where I have like the library initially. So Minecraft/vendor/vendor/Lua. And I think that should fix that as well. So then if we go back, let me just pop that back up to there. And then if we go into here and we'll say CMD build VS2022. Okay, so if we do that, I think that should fix that up. And if we reload and build, nope, we're still getting an error. Let's see. Nope. Okay, we still can't open it. Lua53.lib. Did I spell that right? Lua53.lib and bin debug Minecraft Lua53.lib. Okay, so it looks like we do have that. We'll see that too. Also, let me just check this. For a second, I also thought it get op. Yeah, I know, right? Get a microwave for the table. I'll just turn my whole desk into a big microwave. Or like the little scientist, you know, the Bunsen burner type thing, right? You could also use a thermos cup. That is true, and I do have a thermos. It just keeps it way too hot for too long, and I can't actually drink it. And Voxers would be cool to know, even though I don't use Premake or CMake. Okay, yep. Too many vendors in the path, no? Oh, do I have 2 vendors in there? I do, thank you. That was a good catch. Okay, so it might actually still be that. That's not what I meant to do. CMD, build VS222. Exit, go back here, reload. Ah, thank you. Okay, yeah. So, and that's a weird thing too. I don't know why I have to put that because I am copying it to the proper directory where my binary is, but for some reason, Visual Studio, maybe I just need to add like, instead of doing this, maybe I just need to say like the configuration directory, which would be this guy right here. Let's try that real quick because I am interested in this, and then we'll just comment, by the way, this is Lua 2. In case you were wondering, Premake works with Lua. So yeah, let's try that real quick because I am interested now if that is just the thing that I'm missing. So let's, if we do CMD build 2022, exit, actually I should have reloaded before I did that. I can't stop that now. Uh-oh. Stop debugging, yes. Okay, good. Visual Studio is smart enough to do that. It's true. Lua is everywhere. And as he was, the quality of problems we have. Too hot and too cold coffee. It's true, man. Load up a Bitcoin miner and place the bug on top. That is true. Honestly, I could just use my graphics card and stuff right now because always seems to be weird. Okay, cool. It looks like that worked too. So I was just missing that library directory. I don't know why Visual Studio even requires this because you would assume they would check where you're building to for libraries. But whatever, I guess they don't. So yeah, and then we'll go over that sort of linking deal after we make sure this is all working right. So let's see, build, exit, and that should be the file time. Cool, and that didn't change anything. So if we run this now, and we jump over here, okay, so we created that fine, we opened it, we register, we do the file, we close. Cool, and then if we dump our memory leaks, we should get memory leaks because I did not... Yeah, cool. So we do get memory leaks as well, which is good. And then if I re-enable that, we should get it. And cool, we got average is 30, summit is 150. So everything is working all right. So now if we were to uncomment this and rerun it, no breakpoints. Uh-oh. We'll see what's wrong with that. Tried to free invalid memory that was never allocated. Okay, I probably just have that set up wrong then. If n size equals 0 and pointer does not equal null. That's probably an important thing to check. Okay, let's try this again. I'm guessing it was just trying to free a null pointer. Yeah, cool. We're still getting memory leak detected, which is kind of weird. And that might be because of the way I have realloc, but it shouldn't. Like, this should detect and properly do all that stuff. Yeah, that's kind of weird. I'm not sure if Lua is broken. I assume it's not. Like, I assume that these are probably just my library breaking, but it is kind of weird that I'm getting these warnings. So it's saying we leaked 2038 bytes. Is it just my library? It might just be my library. I don't know. I guess for now we'll just use like that and we'll just assume it's my library and then I can fix this at some other point. So I'll put a to-do or something eventually. So let's do that and then we'll just say std realloc that pointer new size and we'll just return that. Okay, cool. So we shouldn't get any memory leaks anymore. I mean, same thing is still happening. I'm just not printing anything. So By the way, Lua means moon. Yeah, that's why I was kind of confused at the beginning when I first heard of Lua, because I was like, isn't that just Spanish for moon? But it is interesting. Okay, cool. So if you're using Premake too, this is kind of an aside, but it's a good thing to know because it's kind of annoying. And you want to link a project that you've built with CMake, you have to do something kind of weird. Basically, you get this ID inside of a Visual Studio solution. If you're using Visual Studio, if you're not, I'm not sure how you would do this. Like, I'd probably have to do something different for different projects, but this is the basic idea. So CMake will basically build or generate a Visual Studio solution file inside of this build directory. And then you can go into the main solution file, which in this case is rmlui.sln. And you'll see a bunch of this gibberish, which looks like gibberish, but it's really how Visual Studio links everything together. And so then say I wanted to link this specific library, which is in here. Then what I can do is I can find that, which is right here. And then I have this unique ID. And so then I would copy that. And if I do a Control F, you'll see it's the same unique ID I'm using here. So those are the same every time you generate it, which is good. And then it basically just allows Premake to find that file and sort of set everything up. And then you're good. And then you also have to specify the location, the kind, and the language. I don't know if the dialect is actually necessary, but I do it anyways. But yeah, it's a little bit weird if you've never seen it before, and it took me a long time to figure out, but it's the basic steps you take. So if you are ever in that scenario, that's how you do it. Okay, so this is sort of how we go about doing stuff. So now the question is, how do we want to do this? And I'm actually going to go ahead, like you guys were saying, let's just use Lua L, new state. And we'll just let Lua do whatever Lua does. Let's also see if we can do like Lua L set print. Can we do something like that? I'm assuming we can. Or maybe Lua print set print. Maybe it's like set out. No, I'm assuming we can do something so that we can pipe their stuff to our own logger, which would be nice. Let's see. Lua custom print C++. Okay, yeah, redirecting, redefining print for Lua. So let's see, we can say you can redefine the print statement in C. Lua, so we basically just take in the L, the L, yeah. Then register in the global table. Oh, cool. I really like this too. This is why we look at other people's stuff. So this might be a good way to set up our... Oh, this is really cool. Lua L registry. So I'm assuming this is just like a const char to a function pointer. And I guess this is going to be a good way for us to set up our bindings. And then we can just loop through all this stuff. And basically do that. Lua get global G register for Lua versions 5.2 or greater. Set funcs. Cool. Okay. So, oh, and this is print lib, end of array. Cool. Okay, so this is really cool. So I guess this is how you can set multiple functions at the same time. This will be good for when we create our bindings. Let's go ahead and do that as well. So let's actually, we'll close out of that. Let's go ahead and start building our infrastructure around this stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Minecraft, and then we are going to create a new folder, which is like scripting, right? So we'll say scripting, and this is where all of our scripting stuff will live. I will do the same thing in source, new folder, scripting. Okay, and then let's go into here, and we're basically going to have like our Lua Manager, which is just going to be like how we set everything up. And how we get a hold of our Lua state if we want to, all that stuff. So we'll say hash if not defined, Minecraft. I'm gonna have to change that too because this is not Minecraft anymore. We will say hash define that and if. Okay, namespace. Oh, also too, I need a name for this game. So if you guys have any interesting names, put it in the chat and we'll think about trying something out. So, because I'm gonna have to change all these namespaces and stuff to whatever the name of this game is gonna be. Right now I'm just calling it Voxel Game in honor of Voxel Riffs, okay? So that's what we're calling it, just Voxel Game. Anyways, let's go ahead and we'll say namespace Lua Manager. Void init. What's the game gonna be about? So our ideas, yeah, our ideas are basically sort of like a mix of Terraria and Minecraft. I want to have a much deeper world height. It's going to be a fixed world size where you spawn on an island. The island's going to have all the biomes. As you get deeper into the earth, it's going to be harder to mine stuff. It's going to be harder mobs. And I want it to be focused more on combat and sort of trading. So I want to have smart NPCs and stuff that you can like set up houses for, like Terraria. Have all sorts of like emotional things that go on with that. So yeah. Is there a team? Yes, my brothers are helping me out. Let's pull this up real quick. So my brothers, Yo Mikester, he's on YouTube too. You can check him out. And then Pizza Boss, which is my other brother. So they're helping me out. Like this is a little SketchUp. So this is actual Minecraft. This is not my game. But my brother was like, hey, this is something we could do for the main menu and stuff. And I really like this too. And then the plan is gonna be like, we'll have like birds flying around and stuff. The stuff will be blowing, the grass and everything in the breeze. Yeah, so, and then they've also started designing like textures. Oh, these are individual files and like items and everything. And so this is like the textures he's generated for me and stuff. So it's just exciting. They're helping me out with artwork and everything because I'm not good at that. But yeah, cool stuff. So yeah, side thing. IT0946, good to see you. Okay, so saw free code camp, picked up your Mario series. Pretty cool. Yeah, so Bo reached out to me like a couple months ago and stuff and asked about it and everything, and it was really cool. I then saw somebody from my work like post a link to freecodecamp.com, and I was like, is my video up there? And it was, and I was like, oh boy, like people from my work could accidentally stumble upon my video, which would be really cool. Langor's Rcraft, that's an idea. I'll write down game name ideas so that we don't forget this. Rcraft. Maybe we go away from the crafting too and stuff, but I don't know. Like there's gonna be crafting in the game, but like out of the name, so it doesn't feel like a Minecraft kind of ripoff or whatever. But yeah, your brother should have no more than minimum wages. Don't get that into their heads, SE Woods. They can't know that I'm not paying them right now, so we don't want to let them know that they could be getting paid. Yeah. Okay, so we've got an init for our Lua Manager. We'll have something like a Lua state or something, get state, for other things that are interested, because I already know I will be needing that. We'll say include core, and let's go to core. Let's go ahead and copy this stuff. Put it in core, which is gonna give us a really nice long build time, because we're gonna have to recompile the whole thing. And then we'll go down here and we'll just say Lua stuff. Oh, also a cool thing. I think I've showed this before, but C++, it's always annoying doing colors and stuff, but you can create operators, which is super nice. So then you can end up doing stuff like glm vec4 red equals, and then you can just say like hashtag ff0000 hex. And this will convert it to an actual normalized color range. So if you're doing C++ stuff, implement this, because I always hate doing colors and like trying to transfer from hex to normalized colors and all that stuff. It's annoying. So definitely something to keep in your back pocket. But yep. Cool. So we'll put that there for now. I'm probably gonna have to add more includes there eventually. Let's just see. We'll say include. I think there's a few files and we'll include all of them, so I don't have to go back to this because I hate recompiling. Okay, so include, we've got lauxlib, we've got lauxlib, we've got lua.h, we've got lua.hpp. We do not have that. Now we do. We've got luaconf.h. We do not have that here. Just include them all, right? And then we've got lualib, and we have lualib, xlib. Do we have lua xlib? We do. Okay, cool. So that's all the files, so we shouldn't ever have to come back to here, which will be nice. And now when we say include core, we've got our Lua state. Okay, cool. So we got that. We'll have like a void update. And actually we don't pass in delta time anymore. And then a void free. And let's go ahead and implement this in here now. So This is my general programming styles, in case you guys were wondering too. This is how I go about adding new features and everything. You just kind of take it one step at a time, implement the most, you know, the next thing that you need to worry about, and we'll go from there. Just because I know we're also going to need bindings, I'm going to go ahead and preemptively add Lua Bindings.h. And so these bindings are going to be like wrappers around functions inside the engine that I'm going to eventually make it so that you can call those in Lua, which will be nice. So say if not define Minecraft Lua Bindings H define. Let's copy that. And if namespace Minecraft namespace Lua Bindings. Cool. And then we'll just basically have bindings. So like say I wanted to add a function for you to do like get block. We do that here and then we'll return like a block. And then we can do whatever. Technically it would just be a void get block and then we would pass in a Lua state, right? I'm going to call this Lua state because that's what they call it. And then we'll do stuff like that. I might add that there too, just so we can see how this works. And then we'll go from there. So yeah, we will do a bunch of functions like this and stuff, and we can, you know, add those bindings all in one place and just get it all worked out. Yep. Never knew. So that's how you defined those, huh? The bindings or these? I'm not sure what you're talking about there. It's really hard when you guys mention specific things at a specific time in the chat because like, it's so delayed on my side. But yeah, the hex thing. Yes. Okay. See, yeah, I would have never thought that, but okay. Anyways, let's copy this real quick. Delete that. Delete that. And then we would go ahead and say include scripting / Lua Manager. Okay, and this will be our implementation. Do that, 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 and that. And then I like to just do this for internal state. And then I define public state or external or like per instance state in the struct itself if I ever have stuff like that. So yeah, we'll say Lua state star Lua Interpreter or maybe just Lua state. And then what we can do is we can copy our stuff that we started doing in here. So what we'll do is we will say, grab all this, put it in here for now. We will do a register funcs instead of that. And we'll kind of go from there. Lua close will go inside of free. So we do that and we will just say Lua state instead. Same thing here. And we'll get rid of that. There. Okay, cool. So we've kind of abstracted all this stuff out now. And then if we go... do we want... No, we don't want a custom function. We're going to get rid of that for now. We can do that sometime in the future if we want, but it doesn't matter. So then we don't need stuff like that. Let's also get rid of this stuff. Okay, so then we need a way to make it... I don't know. We might like make some easy stuff and everything, but yeah. AKDev21, brand from Discord. I would suggest C++ native SOL2, SDL2 or SOL2, which I've used in the past and can be bundled as a single file. Oh, or SOL2. Let me see this. Extra apostrophe. Or, yeah, no, quotations. C++ library binding to Lua. It currently supports all Lua versions. Oh, okay. I'm just using Lua itself. Like, I'm cool with just using, like, the stuff. This is cool. I definitely think this is cool and stuff, but... yeah, the Lua bindings themselves are pretty easy to use. Like, I don't see any problems with just using this stuff, too. But that is nice to know. Cool, so... we've got all this stuff. We're gonna need a way to like register different Lua files and everything too, which we can build into the Lua bindings itself. So we can sort of register all of our files at the beginning somehow. Or we can just have like a scripts folder that just automatically loads all the scripts in there and stuff. Okay, things to do, things to do. So we've got this. Then what we wanna do is we wanna register all our bindings. So what we can do is we can then say, let's go back to our Stack Overflow buddy. Something like this, right? Let's copy that. There we go. And then let's also just fix that. Cool. So then what we're going to do is we are going to include scripting / Lua Bindings, right? And the first one we'll work on is void print. And this will take in a Lua state. Okay. And so then that'll be our first binding, right? And we will bind this to Lua Bindings. Print. Okay, so it should be as simple as that. What's wrong with this? Value of type void star. Oh, I need to return int. I always forget that. So this should return int. And I guess the int we return is the number of results, because that's what it, yeah, we return 2 here. Okay, so yeah, we return 2, which is the number of our results, which in this case was average and sum. Okay, cool. So that's all good. And then what we can do here is we basically say what he said over here. Why is he getting this thing? Is what I'm curious about. Sorry, this is just weird. Lua he gets this global for some reason, but he doesn't use it or do anything that I can see. And then Lua set funcs. Does this maybe just like get the global namespace or something and then kind of stateful? Let's see what it says here. If we do Lua get global. Lua state. And then he just called it like _G. I think that's just, I don't know what he's doing here exactly. And then Lua set funcs. Yeah, I'm assuming this is basically just like pushing something onto the stack. And then this basically sets all of our functions for the global state. Yeah. Okay. We'll just assume that. And then we can just go ahead and say like that. I think we can do some cooler stuff too, where we eventually categorize our different code and everything into things like, if you've ever seen Roblox scripting, they've got stuff like this. Let's see. Yeah, where you basically say local data store service equals get service. So we can basically categorize stuff into these kind of namespaces, I guess, in Lua. I don't know. But basically just categorize our functions by creating some global variables, which I guess this is like game. And this get service thing is probably just a function on that table. I think these are just tables and stuff. But yeah, so we'll eventually do something a little bit more fancy just to make it easier for other developers who are familiar with something like Roblox scripting. I see what, since you talk about a tall world for the game name Highlander. That's an interesting one too. Thank you. Let's write it down. It kind of reminds me too, I think there was a show, I can't remember what it was called. Outlander, maybe? It was something like that, but it was a similar name. Interesting show. I think it was meant for women. Not because it was like, I don't know, just because of the way it was very romantic. And I was like, what am I watching? And then I stopped watching it after a couple seasons because I was like, this is just not my style. Yeah. It's that weird area when you go to try a new series and you're like, this is not what I expected. But okay. So we're going to go ahead. We do this. Yeah. Let's copy the rest of his stuff too. He says Lua set funcs and then Lua pop. So we will do this too. Couple season. Yeah, I know. It took me a while before I was finally like, yeah, this isn't for me. I kept hoping. I was like, maybe it'll get better. Maybe it didn't. So let's call this bindings. And we'll do that. And then we can say Lua pop. Why does it not like that? Because we need to fix that. That's better. Cool. On the topic of series, I definitely recommend you watch The Mentalist. Cool. Mentalist. Let's see what this is. I think I've heard of this one. Looks interesting. Yeah, I'll definitely check this out because I have been looking for some series. Right now I'm reading through a lot of different books and stuff, but I will definitely check that out because trying to think of what I was watching Witcher. I just finished that series. Yeah. And so I've been looking for some new shows and stuff, but it's really fun. Okay. I'll check it out. Hopefully it's on Netflix or something. Heard of, not seen. Yeah. I think I'm in the same place there too. But It's always good to learn about new series because those are always fun. Okay, so we've got all this stuff. I think he implemented it too. Yeah, so we can kind of use his implementation and modify it for our needs. So, okay, let's make a Lua Bindings.cpp. And we'll do this, Lua Bindings.cpp. And then we can go ahead and say, whoops, let's actually not do it like that. We'll say include scripting Lua Bindings, namespace, Minecraft, namespace, Lua Bindings, and then we have a void or int print, and then this takes in a Lua state star Lua state. Cool. And then we'll put that there. It's on Prime, not sure about Netflix. Okay, cool. And you plan on starting The Witcher. I hear if you've read the books, the series wasn't that great for Witcher, but I have not read the books, and I thought it was really fun, so I liked it. Yeah, but I just bought all the books too, and I plan on starting to read those because I'm about to finish the series I'm on right now, which is disappointing, but it is what it is. Okay, pop the next arg using Lua toString li and do your print. Do something with non-strings if you like. So how does print in, what is this going to pass me? Is what I'm wondering. So this, let's just print out what all this stuff is for now. And is there a way to like get the type of the next thing? Oh yeah, okay, cool. So we can say like if Lua is string Lua state I. Okay, cool. And then we can sort of like do a else if Lua is Boolean. Okay, cool. Lua state I. Let's do this. Boolean %d. Lua to Boolean. State I. Okay, cool. So we'll do something like this. Do we have to pop this stuff off afterwards too, I think? No, you do not. Okay, so we don't pop anything off the stack. I'm going to keep this here for reference too, just for now. We do not need this stuff anymore, but I'm going to keep it for reference as well. Let's go ahead and, whoops, do that. And that. Also, I don't know if you guys noticed, I have upgraded to VS 2022, and I like it. So it's pretty cool. I thought about game name Underworld as well, but I think it's already taken. That's a pretty cool one too, though. I will write it down as well. Thank you. Underworld. Because we could like play off of that and maybe come up with something similar to it if it is taken. Come on, Visual Studio. I just want to put that there. Thank you. Okay. So we got this. Let's basically just print what this stuff is for now, and that way I can sort of see how this works. So we'll say print string %s Lua to string Lua state I. Okay, we'll do that. And then we'll say here something else. And we might have to come up with like custom. I don't know. We'll come up with something for like objects and stuff, possibly. Yep. I really like the font on this version. I do too. It is pretty cool. And Langors, don't know about games, but there's a series of movies with that name. Okay, so good to know. Okay, so we have bindings there. And now we've got an update function too. So ideally what we would have is like some sort of, I don't know, like map. And this will probably change in the future. And actually, let's use Robinhood because it's way better than standard library. So we'll use like a hash map or something. I guess they just call it unordered map. From like a string to another string, right? I don't even know. We just use a set, honestly. Unordered set. Because we don't really care about key value things. Of like stood string. And this would be like our Lua scripts. And then we could go ahead and just initialize that. So this is how we're going to sort of dynamically load stuff in. And we can work our way from there, you know? I'm not going to worry about that for now, though, because we can use Lua. So, okay, this is, yeah. I'm kind of all over the place here right now. But anyways, let's go to our Rml Manager, because that's where we need to go next. I'm going to close all this stuff out, because it doesn't matter. Okay, that's good. So if we go into here, this is where I set up the RML code, which lets us do the HTML, CSS stuff. And this is where I initialize it with Lua, but we can call another function, which is like initialize, except we can give it a state, okay? And what we'll do here is we'll say Lua Manager get state. So we can do something like this, include scripting Lua Manager. This way we can bind our functions, and now our functions are available to our HTML code as well. So we can keep all that stuff together. So yeah. So if we go back into here, this state with these global functions should be available to our HTML code now. That is the hope. So let's see if that works. Let's go to application.cpp because I need to initialize our Lua stuff now. So we can say hash include scripting Lua Manager, and we'll go down to here where I initialize everything, which is, okay, this is where I free everything. I want to go to where I initialize everything. Somewhere, okay, right here. So we just need to make sure that we initialize our Lua stuff before our RML stuff. So we'll initialize it there. And then we need to make sure we free it after we free our RML stuff. So we will free it somewhere. Okay, yep. So we'll do that, and then we'll say Lua Manager free. Another benefit, I really hate abstraction these days because this is so much clearer. Like in the past, what I've done for stuff like this is I'll create like some sort of interface or class or something that everyone extends from. And then that class has like a free method. And then what I would do is I would say like for auto, like manager and managers, manager free, right? I would do something like this in the past. And then I could get rid of all this stuff. Now you may think, oh, that's awesome, way less code and everything. And then you register it somewhere and all that stuff. But I hate that abstraction now because if somebody's coming to read the code, this is so much more clear. And it's literally like no extra typing at all for me. Okay. But if somebody new comes to the code, they can say, oh, cool. So when you free stuff, first you free the shader, then you free the sprites, then you free the fonts, then you free the scene, then you stop the global thread pool, then you start freeing all this stuff. And it's just so much easier to intuit about all this stuff. So I don't know, kind of growing to hate abstraction. It's just a lot easier to think in terms of this stuff. But yeah, much clearer. I agree. Yeah. So, and then initialization is the same deal, right? You can clearly see this is how I initialize everything. It goes in this order. And if I ever have questions, I don't have to think about this myself and be like, wait a second, I need to initialize this before I initialize that. Is this, I can just go here and say, oh, just move it up or move it down. So pretty cool stuff. Okay, so this should be good though. If we run this now, I should be able to pop open our HTML code. RML code, I guess, not HTML. We've got all this stuff, but we should be able to, this print should now go through our logger, and let's see what happens with something like this. And we can sort of fix our print function as needed. Told you compile was going to take a long time after all that. So I've started working on the next episode for the YouTube series Shaders. And man, I'm just like, my head's not in it this time for some reason. I'm kind of trying to go through it and make as good as I can, but I feel like it's not turning out the way I want. So I'm hopefully going to get that done pretty soon though. But yeah, Foxrose, some indirection is required sometimes, but not to the extent that I used to do it. Yeah, I agree. Like if you ever have abstraction, you just need to make sure you use it wisely and you're not just throwing it everywhere for needless stuff. Like I feel like a lot of programs these days put indirection when you really don't need it. So yeah, delay the video then. Well, I think I'll be able to finish it by the end of the month still, and I want to because that's the schedule I kind of set for myself. But I just need to make sure that it comes out the way I want it to. So I may have to just redo it a little bit. Okay, get state must return a value. Of course it must. So we'll do this. That's better. Okay, so this should work good now. We should do some error checking in here too, like, because this could fail. So we'll do that eventually. Okay, pop that open. We are good here. let's go ahead, and this print should now do something different. So what do we get? We get log info I1. Okay, so it looks like it does concatenation in the same place. What if I did print I, comma? Oh, gotta redo that. Okay. Yeah, it looks like it still turns it into a string. Huh. So I'm not sure if this print function ever doesn't do this as a string, but yeah. I think if we did like a table or something, that's probably gonna do some weird stuff. So if I said like table equals, I think this is how you do tables, like something like this, hi there. And then we said print table. I am interested to see what would happen. Okay, yeah, so then we get warning string assets expected near. Okay, what did, oh, I put a semicolon there. Nope, we're still getting a warning. Did I do this weird? I think this is how you do tables. Let me check our pre-make file because I've got it in there somewhere. Pre-make, or somebody's probably telling me. Nope. Essie, what's have you in mind any new general video for the masses? Those are so neatly done as well. Thanks, I appreciate that. And I'm probably gonna make like an update about just this game. So another update sort of condensed of what we've been doing here. Like the multiplayer stuff and then the scripting stuff and everything. So that's probably the next general video I will be doing. It looks like I'm doing this table wrong too. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna pop all that stuff out. Go into here. And how do I do tables? Okay, so you do that. Oh, you just do, okay. So I just do like hi there. Okay, there we go. I don't even know if that's actually a Lua table, but I'm gonna assume it is. Okay, yeah, so it does something weird like this. You see? It's just printing out the memory address instead of actually printing out the table. I don't know if there's like a format you can do in Lua. Let's check. Lua print format. Okay, can we do something interesting? Or actually, let's just do this. Lua print table. Okay, so you gotta do some weird stuff. We could like create a function for this though, just to make it easier so that you can actually look at stuff like this. But yeah. Okay, cool. Well, I think that's pretty good for now. Like, we've got Lua working. We can now create bindings. So the next clear thing we want to do is create a change scene binding. So when we click on this, it changes the scene from where we're at right now to the next scene. So that's kind of the next step we're going to take in a minute here. I will be right back though. Take a quick break and we'll come back to this in like 5 minutes and we'll add those bindings and then we can actually start creating our GUI code using Lua and everything, which will be pretty cool. So I will see you guys in a few minutes and we'll come back to this. All right, guys, I am back for now. So, I was talking to somebody the other day about just streaming in general with coding and stuff, and it's funny because when you're coding on stream, it's like pretty stressful because if you don't know the topic well enough and you're trying to learn stuff as you go and you're trying to talk and everything at the same time, it's like it can be difficult. And what's up, AK? Dev, how's it going? So I was talking, and it's just like you have to pick your topics well when you start, and I think this is probably the easiest thing I've done on stream. Most of the other stuff that I've done on these streams has been stuff that has just like hurt my brain and was not easy to keep going with, but this has all been pretty, I really like this. So they've made it pretty nice and easy to do this stuff, which is cool. But yeah, so +1 for Lua Scripting. Okay, what I want to do next though is I want to create a int change scene, and this will basically take a scene. Whoops, we'll do a Lua star state. And I'm not sure how we want to do this, but we'll figure something out. But yeah, I've thought about that many times. I could never have done live streaming on the fly. Yeah, it's definitely more difficult than I thought it would be, but yeah. I also noticed Randall, one of the YouTubers, he said he was gonna stop streaming, and I was always amazed because he was doing some pretty complex stuff live on stream, and that just does not sound easy. But yeah, new game name down low. I will write it down. All the ideas are welcome, and we will think about different stuff. But yeah, Simzu, hey, thanks for subscribing. That's pretty epic. But good to see you too. Thanks to Roberto Lura-Schlimi. I probably said that horribly wrong. The creator of Lua. Yes, I agree. And yeah, Randy stopped for now. He'll probably go back to it at some point though, because I'm guessing he needs to keep going in order to keep making income. Simzu finally caught a stream. Well, it's good to see you, man. And I really appreciate the sub. That's awesome. Essie Woods, just brainstorming, probably much bad names. No, I appreciate it. We will use all these names and come up with something. So it's good to kind of brainstorm that stuff out loud. Yep. Let's go here. I wonder, can we do enums in Lua? Lua enums. Enumerations in Lua. Can we do this? Because if we can. Table constructors. Okay, yeah. So we're gonna have to do something similar, and that's how I think I'm gonna do this. So what we're gonna do is, I wonder if I can attach some different states. So this is where we're gonna kind of experiment with stuff now, right? So this get global basically gets a global thing, and then we do stuff. Can we do like Lua set global? Cool, we can. Okay, set functions stack Lua. Okay, so I think what we do is we like push something onto the stack. We say like Lua push or something. Oh no, I didn't mean to build. When you accidentally press keys. Let's see. No, I don't want to do that. Thank you. Okay, so if we say like Lua push, can we do that? Push integer, push result, push boolean. Cool, so we can do that. Push global table. That's what I want to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a table, and this will be our like scene enumerations. And then what we can do is we can say Lua table. Yes, something like that. Lua is table, Lua table. Let's see, what is Lua? Because I saw that. Lua Create Table. Yeah, what does this do? This returns nothing. Okay, so I think it just basically, let's look at this. Okay, so let's do C++. Lua Create Table. Okay, so this is how we're gonna do this. I'm running a MySQL query which returns 4 rows, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'd prefer saving the Lua stack space like this. So we create a table, 0, 4. I'm guessing that's like the number of rows and columns, possibly. So, okay, in the comment, Lua set table takes care only of one key value pair. Must repeat that if you need more. Okay, so then what he does is he creates a table, then he pushes a bunch of stuff, set table. Third element from the stack, top. Push string, set table, -3. Okay, so I guess this is the way you kind of do that. So let's use what this guy's talking about, and we will kind of create some sort of way for creating tables and stuff. So I guess we can put this in here. So how do we want to do this is what I'm wondering. Okay, let's do this. We'll say void create table. I'm trying to wonder like what the best way of doing this will be. Because we basically want to take like a list of stuff, right? And we can do that in C++ using initializer lists. And then we can sort of create an abstract thing that basically just creates a table from whatever you pass into it. But I don't know if I want to do that because it's kind of abstract. Like we could do something like std initializer list. And then we basically give it a type. So then we could say like a void star, right? You just give us a bunch of pointers. And I guess we wouldn't do that. We would do this. And this would be like our table, right? Pointers. And then we could do like the size of the stuff and everything. But that gets kind of complicated because then it's like interesting. We could just do like integers, right? And then we could have overload this for different functions. Or we could just create a template, right? We could say template type name T. Do something like that. We just do T. This might be the best way to do it. And then you can just basically pass in whatever you're creating a table of. And it will be a single type. So I think that's how we'll do this. So how does this work? I wish he would show like what this is actually doing. Okay, so this is what it's doing. It's basically doing something like that. So you basically do the row and then you do the name. What was that enumerations thing? Yeah. The above is equivalent to blue equals 1, green equals 2, red equals 3. Okay, cool. So, okay, I think I like this. So what we'll do is we'll say like take an initializer list and this will be like a std string to a type T. Can we do that? What's this saying? Too many arguments for initializer list. Okay. I guess we could do like an initializer list of tuples. It kind of makes sense in this case. Usually I would avoid doing something like this, but this is probably the most sensible thing. Okay, so we could do this, and I'm going to move this down a little bit since this is going to clutter up our header file. And then we'll kind of do what he was talking about, right? We do this whole thing. So we'll do like that. So we say Lua Create Table L04, where 4 is the number of columns, rows, or something. And so in this case, we'll just say table.size, which should give us the number of rows. And then what we can do is we can say for int I equals 0 until I is less than table.size I++. And let's also give ourselves an argument just so this makes a little bit more sense. Here, let me do this. There we go. Cool. So just that we get IntelliSense here, I'll add a parameter. Okay, enter. That's what I want. Close. Nope, that's not going to work. T equals int. There we go. Cool. Okay, cool. So what we can do now is we can sort of see what's happening here. Lua, and then this will just be get state. That's fine. Okay, and then what we'll do here is we'll say Lua push string. And then this will be Lua or get state. I'll probably abstract that in just a second too. And then the string is going to be table dot, I guess table I dot, and actually let's do this instead. We'll say for auto row in table. Okay, we'll do that. And then we can say row dot first. Do we do this first? Dot, or do we do 0? I'm not sure. I always forget how tuples work, but it doesn't seem to like that. Dot. Okay, let's see. Okay, maybe I need to make that like auto ref. Okay, we'll do that. Dot. Nope, still doesn't work. Row dot. Nope. Okay, so this says row is a tuple from a string to an int. A reference. Okay. Why can't I get the first thing? Let's see this. C++. Tuple. We should be able to just like... Oh, yeah, I have to do that weird thing, right? You get... Yeah, get 0. I hate that. But whatever. Okay. So we'll say stud get... how was that? I just closed it out. I should have left that open. Stud tuple. We'll check that again. Iceburn, hey, how's it going? It's good to see you. We're doing Lua scripting right now, in case people are wondering. So, we basically say stud get 0, whatever. Okay. So we'll say stud get 0 row dot cstring. Okay, there we go. So we push that, and then we'll say Lua push string. I don't want to push a string though. So instead what we'll do is we'll say Lua push, we want to push T. Okay, so this is where it gets kind of tricky, right? Do we do this as a template or do we just overload this? I think probably the easiest thing for me to do here would be to just like overload this. Yeah. Templates are a nice idea, but I gotta like make this a little bit less abstract. Okay. So we have like a create table of ints, create table of doubles, etc., and we can sort of do this stuff. So we'll, instead of doing this, we'll have like void create table, initializer list, stud tuple, string to floats, right? Table. And we'll do something like that. And I spelled that wrong. And I think this will be a better way to do this. And we can kind of abstract stuff a little bit more if we want to. Let's copy this. And then we'll go into here and just implement all these. So we will say void create table. We'll do this. Get rid of those. Unindent that. And then we can say, let's copy this. This one's for ints. Okay. And we'll copy that. There we go. Cool. So then that way we can just say Lua push int. As much as it pains me, this is probably the easiest way to do this. So then we'll just pass Lua state. And then we'll say stud get 1 row. And that should be good. And then what we do is we just say set table -3. And that should do what we want it to do. Let's go ahead and get rid of those. And get rid of those. Okay, and then after we do it, we say set table. No, we don't have to do anything else. That's it. Okay, we still have the table left on top of the Lua stack. Okay, I'm trying to see if this is what Lua set field. Wait, what is this? No, if this is for some kind of Lua wrapper, you should ensure standard way of doing that. Same example applied. Blah, blah. Oh, why wouldn't I not use this stuff? Whatever. Okay. Anyways, I think this is going to work for us. I'll leave that open just in case I have to come back to it. So let's create a table now where we basically have a bunch of integers and we'll go from there. And we can go ahead and just get rid of that stuff. So this creates a table, pushes it onto the stack. And if we copy this one, we'll have a floating point version 2 and we can overload this as needed. It'd probably be a good idea too to like kind of abstract this stuff so we can just sort of get that part out, which we'll do in a minute. For now though, okay, we can say Lua, or actually I guess create table, and we can pass it stuff. So then we can do something like scenes. Let's go to scene.h because this is what I was originally gonna do. This is the wrong one. Scene.h. Let's go here. Okay, cool. So then we've got this stuff. There we go. Scene type. Okay. So I have like single player game, local LAN game, multiplayer game, main menu, and replay. these are the scenes we want. So let's go into here. Do that is scene type, and then we can say single player game. And this should just work, which will be good. So then we can say include scene or core scene. And this is how we will do this, right? And then we can say Lua set global, Lua state, right? And then we can give it the name. So I'm assuming this will give us like a global scene type, okay? That we can then use. So we'll like do some stuff to make sure this actually works. What's this saying? Create table. No instance of overloaded function. Oh, we need to like double bracket this. So we'll do that. And then each of these will be a bracket as well. Cool. So this is what I was going for, right? We basically have this thing. What's it saying? Argument types are blah, blah, blah. Let's see if we do stood string to int. Okay, that works. I think what we need to do here is we just need to cast this to int. No, you still can't do this? Do we need to... Is that better? Nope, you're just gonna do this to me. So we may have to do something like this, which is annoying. I'm hoping we don't. Yep, so that works. Can we... Maybe if we do this, create int table. Let's try that. So we'll change that. Create float table. And then we can change that stuff up in here. This is float. Yep, create float table. Create int table. And we should be good there. Okay, cool. So that works. Sweet. So now we can do stuff like this. Just make it really easy to build this stuff. But yeah. AK dev, you may check this out for reference. Raylib. Let's see. Ah, sweet. Okay. So Lua set enum color. Push color. Okay, Lua push color. This is like one of their things. Cool. So they've got like a bunch of helper functions too. I think we're doing it pretty similarly. This will be a good reference though. I'm definitely gonna keep that pulled up and hopefully we can use it if needed. For now though, let's just try and set this stuff up. So we've got that. I think there was like also local LAN game int, and we'll say scene type. And that, what else do we have? Multiplayer game, main menu, and replay. So let's copy those. Do that. Cool. So those are the ones we need to do, and then I'll fix all this formatting, don't worry. Okay, so we'll say multiplayer game, int scene type, multiplayer game, and then we'll say main menu, int scene type, main menu, and finally replay. And int scene type replay. Okay, so let's go ahead and format. Control KD. Nope, you don't want to do that. We'll do that and then that. And that should be good. So now we have this whole scene type thing that we should be able to use in our code. So let's do this. Set up scene type enum. And if we go into our Lua code, we should be able to use this now, I believe. So we'll try that out. We'll go into here and we will say print. I keep using, I don't think you need to use parentheses, do you? I think you can just do that, but scene type, and then we'll do dot dot, whoops. And I think I should be able to just do scene type dot single player game. And that should just work, hopefully. Yeah, so let's try it out. We'll see what happens. And if this works, then this is how we'll go about setting up like global state variables, all that type of stuff. And this should be pretty easy to kind of go through. Okay, what's our error? change scene must return a value. Return 0. Which it's going to do anyways. Okay, let's see if this works. So we go and we do this. If we hit that play game button, we should see scene type is 1. And if we look at scene.h, single player game should be 1. Cool. So that's all working good. So now what we can do is we can implement this change scene function. And so the way this is going to work is we'll say int nargs equals Lua get top, Lua state. And what we can say is if nargs does not equal 1, g logger error change scene expects 1 argument of type scene type. Yeah, so we can do that. And we can return 0. And then otherwise, we'll just say, and let's change that to like the number 1. And we can like print more useful error information and stuff just so that the person scripting or whatever knows, oh, I did this wrong. And it'll all be integrated nicely. For now, this is fine. Okay, so if that works though, what we can do is we can say, we should just have 1 argument. So we basically say, we'll say if Lua is integer, Lua state index, which we're gonna say is 0. I think we use 1. Nope, 0. No, yeah, we got to use 1, which is weird, but that's the way Lua works. So we'll say if it's an integer. Actually, let's just do if it's non-integer. Error change scene expects 1 argument of type scene type. Same thing, right? They just did something wrong. Okay, so now we know that we have 1 argument and it is an integer. So what we can do is we can say int scene type equals Lua get or to integer, and we can give it the Lua state and we'll say 1. Right, we should be expecting 1 integer, and we can abstract all this stuff away too, which we'll probably do in a minute. Right, that's what we do. Let me get rid of this too, because we don't need that. Yep, so we would do like Lua 2, blah, blah, blah. Cool. So we've got the scene type, and then we can say if scene type is greater than or equal to scene type is greater than scene. Oh, I need to import that or include that. Here we go. We'll say include scenes or core scene. And we can say if it's greater than or equal to none, which I believe is 0. Yep. And it's less than or equal to our max, which I'll just say is length. Okay, so we'll do that. And we'll do less than, let's go into scene type, and then we'll put length. So this should give us like a nice wrapper. We can make sure that it's in the proper range. Kind of quick error checking, right? And we can just say int, cast that to an int. So if that's all true, then we can change the scene. So we'll say scene, change scene. And then we can say scene type and safely cast this to a scene type. Cool. So that should all work out properly. And then otherwise, and then we'll return 0. And otherwise, we'll just say glogger error, invalid scene type passed to scene type. And then we'll say like %d is not a valid scene. And we'll pass it to that scene type. Cool. So that should do everything we want it to do. Now let's go add this to our bindings. And this will be how we add bindings and stuff. So then we can say like change scene. And this will be Lua Bindings change scene. Okay. And let's go ahead and, oh, these are not indented properly. So let's do that. Add a comma there. And there we go. Okay, so that should be everything we need to do. Now if we do this, we should be able to change the scene. And technically, I'm probably gonna have to add some more stuff in here to get this to work properly, because this isn't gonna work the way I want it to, I don't think. We'll figure this out in a minute though. Cool. So this is all working. We got this. We're probably going to get an error, like a crash, when I do this, because there are some things we need to fix. But for now, I'm going to leave that for now, just so we can see. I should be able to do like change scene, and then we can say scene type dot local. Oh, cool. Does it have? Oh no. Okay. I was going to say, does it have like a IntelliSense? It does not. We can add that at some point though. Okay, so if I do this, it's gonna crash, as we'll see. So if I hit play game now, yeah, we get a crash. What's it gonna say? World save path must not be empty. That's fine. I expected that. We basically need to set up the world save path. So let's go ahead and quickly mock up a world save menu screen thing. So we'll go into, let's do this. We will open this up. That was weird. We will open this up. We'll put this over here. And then we will have like a separate file in here somewhere, right? Yeah, I'm trying to think of what the best way I think to do this would be. I think this is probably the best way. Okay, so we basically got this menu container, right? This is our menu. Oh, okay, wait, this is gonna be tricky. So, right now, let's look at what happens right now when we, or what used to happen when we would change scenes and stuff. So before, what I would do is I would go like, let's go main menu.cpp. Okay, so before what I would do is I would do something like this, where basically like, I'd say, oh, if we're creating the world, then do this one, otherwise do this one, blah, blah, blah. Which is fine. We can still do stuff like that by doing something like this, where we basically say data if data if equals, and then we could say like is creating world. And this might actually be the best way to do this. And it displays this. Otherwise, well, yeah, okay. I thought there was gonna be a problem. This is actually not a problem. So basically we have this ability to control things, sort of through the C++ code. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create this thing. And then what we can do is we can use RML to sort of set that state up for us. So I've got this skybox and everything that we kind of use in here. And we've got this is creating world, right? And what I can do is I can do something like, let's go to Rml Manager real quick, because I think it's easier to show it in here. And then we can sort of figure it out from there. I can do stuff like context set binding or something like that, or bind or set, let's see. Data binding, create data model. Yeah, I think this is it. Creates a data model. The return constructor can be used to bind data variables, elements used to bind blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. So I think this is what we can do. We can like create this thing called a data model. And then we could say is creating world. And this returns a data constructor, data model constructor. Was that what it was called? Yeah. ctor equals that. And then we can say like ctor dot bind custom data variable. Yeah, okay. So then we can do like bind. And then we can say bool is creating world. And then we can give it to is creating world or something like that, right? I think this is how we're going to go about this. And then basically what I can do then is I can control stuff from here. So this is what I'm going to be leading up to. And I'm probably going to have to come up with some sort of GUI system to like get this working a little bit better and stuff. But yeah, Fargo Bitwise, Lua Scripting. You are using a lib like SL2 or rolling your own binding. I am rolling my own binding. So just using like straight up Lua, like their library that they provide and stuff, and then their functions. It's not that bad too. Like their documentation's pretty good and it seems pretty intuitive. So that's cool. Yep. Worlds below. Thanks. I will write that down, SE Woods. Sweet. Should be fun. Yeah, it is pretty fun. Let's see. World below. We will add that to the list. So it's been a while, guys. I am probably going to wrap up the stream. It's been like a little bit over 2 hours. So if you guys have any questions about sort of where I'm taking this or just about the code in general, whatever, ask them now, or you'll have to wait till next week. But yeah, I'm happy with the progress we've made. We can sort of do, you keep joining late. Yeah, sorry about that, Fargo Bitwise. But next week, hopefully. But yeah, I'm happy with the progress we've made. We've basically gotten our RML stuff to work with Lua pretty easily. And I've just got to come up with some sort of system to create these bindings and stuff a little bit easier, and we should be good. So yeah, but that is it for this stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll be back next week at around 8 a.m. Eastern time, and I will see you guys then. All right, thanks everybody.